At the time I make this video, we're just a few days away from the release of Black Adam. It's the latest film from a very fractured and damaged DC movie universe. Starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the lead character. And the questions are, will it be any good artistically? And will it do big box office numbers? DC's parent company, Warner Brothers, is really struggling right now and they need a hit badly. There's a lot of pressure on Dwayne to deliver. Welcome back to Comic Power. In this quick flip, we're going to talk about the expectations for the Black Adam movie. Well, the first thing we need to do is explain who Black Adam is. He's been around since the golden age of comics, but he's not very well known to the public yet. Well, you have to start with Superman, who makes his debut in Action Comics #1 back in 1938, which ushers in the golden age of comics. And the company that would be DC follows it up with Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Aquaman. Timely Comics, which would become Marvel in the future, put out Namor the Submariner, the Human Torch, the Android version, and of course Captain America. And a publisher called Fawcett Comics had a huge hit with Captain Marvel making his debut in Wiz Comics #2 in 1940. You know the story very well. A poor orphan kid named Billy Batson meets a strange wizard who chooses him and bestows him with powers, and when he says Shazam, he becomes a adult-sized Superman-like hero. DC decided to sue Fawcett Comics because they thought that Captain Marvel looked just too much like Superman. The lawsuit is just too complicated to explain here. I'm in a previous video called Who is the Real Captain Marvel, which explains the lawsuit and explains how Captain Marvel went from this to this. If you don't see the link, I'll put it in the description. So, the original Captain Marvel, the former enemy of DC Comics, makes his way over to DC Comics in 1973. Instead of Captain Marvel, he's known as just Shazam now. I explained it in that previous video, like I said before. So, to this day, Shazam is with DC Comics. Whoop-de-doo. So, what does this have to do with Black Adam? Well, Black Adam is the arch enemy of Shazam. Whereas the wizard bestowed powers upon Billy Batson in the 20th century, thousands of years ago in ancient Egypt, he bestowed powers upon a man called Tet Adam. This is the man that becomes Black Adam, which is explained in The Marvel Family #1, released back in 1945, when Fawcett was expanding and building upon the Shazam universe, the same way their competitor Superman was over at DC. So Billy had the red suit, the lightning bolt on his chest, and a cape. Black Adam had that same lightning bolt on his chest, a black suit, and no cape. And Billy, when he would say Shazam, he would turn into the champion and he would fight for good and justice. But when Black Adam would say Shazam in turn, he decided to be a real a-hole and said, you know what, I'm going to use these powers to take over the world. And he ousts the Egyptian pharaoh and decides to make himself pharaoh. The wizard feels betrayed by what Black Adam has done and banishes him to a far-off star. Black Adam spends the next 5,000 years finding his way back to Earth and finds out there's a new champion called Captain Marvel, backed up with Captain Marvel Jr. and Mary Marvel. Of course, they engage in a never-ending fight like Peter Griffin and that chicken. That origin story has been tweaked over time, but that's pretty much the gist of it. So for the Black Adam character in the movies, they decided to not have him organically come out of the Shazam universe. The 2019 movie starring Zachary Levi and Shazam has a very small Black Adam cameo in it, which doesn't really show his face. It's more of an Easter egg than anything. In the film, they're setting this up where he's going to return to Earth and he's going to fight the Justice Society. Think of it as a golden age justice. So you're going to see Hawkman, Cyclone, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and others. So on one hand, I'm excited for this movie because I want to see these characters in live action for the first time that we never saw before. And yes, the trailers look amazing. And in a previous video, I talked about SDCC, where Dwayne showed up dressed as Black Adam in person. He first announced that he signed on to play this character way back in 2015, so it's time to deliver. So yeah, I got excited, but DC's let me down before, so I gotta be very careful because Batman vs Superman had great trailers too, and it turned out to be a piece of garbage. Plus, I'm worried about how they're gonna make so many new characters make their debut in this movie. That's one of the things that hurt the first Suicide Squad movie back in 2016. You have to give a backstory to these characters to make us care about them. But if you over-explain who all these characters are, you're gonna slow the film down and bore us. Marvel solved this problem by having individual solo movies first. Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Captain America, Thor. So when you did the Avengers, you could get right into the action. You didn't have to explain these characters, you already knew. They're smartly bringing back Viola Davis as Amanda Waller to explain what's going on to the audience as the connecting glue. But based on DC's track record and reputation, I'm still very nervous about how they're gonna cram all these characters into one film and try to do it in like 2 hours and 15 minutes. So is the current champion Shazam going to show up? Fans deserve to see that fight. And ooh, what about Superman? No, just lower your expectations. Henry Cavill and Zachary Levi are not listed on the IMDb page. They really got some things to explain, like where's Wonder Woman, what is the Justice Society, where they been all this time, and how come they didn't show up to help against Zod or the Doomsday situation. So bruh, seriously. What I hope will happen is there will be a Black Adam 2 where Shazam and Superman do have to team up to fight against Black Adam. That would be pretty awesome. At the end of the day, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has real charisma. He's a real movie star, and I expect this movie to come out and make $70 million opening weekend and make $675 million doing its full run. It's going to play in China, which will help, but it's got about 3 weeks to make his money because in November, Black Panther comes out and then you're done, son. So best of luck to The Rock, to WB, and everyone involved. I want all superhero movies to be good, regardless of who makes it. So that's my 2 cents. As always, be sure to subscribe, click on the bell for notifications, and be sure to see some of our previous videos, such as where I ask, how come WB just can't get Superman right in the movies? And another video where I determine who is the best live action Catwoman of all time. Thank you for watching Comic Power, and thank you for your time.